I definitely agree with the panel. I like to think of it as if you want to live, if you plan to be in the public eye, you must learn to reside in it. So when you are tweeting, before you press send, make sure when you are reading this, think about what this is going to say when you send it out there. At the same time, there is still opportunity in broadcasting. I would recommend learning the engineering aspect, the behind the scenes, production assistant, engineering. Even if you have friends that make beats and studios, go sit with them, because some of the software that they use, like Logic, Pro Tools, all that they use to make beats and tracks, they use the same thing as the audio for news. So if someone does a report and they want to submit that audio, you may have the job to edit down that audio. So if it's a 10-minute interview, but they only want 2 minutes of it, you have the skill to cut it down to that. So that's a very, very opportunistic job to have, and it's a big one out there. So I definitely recommend that.
One of the things that I always remind people is that you are your most credible source. So before you go to tweet or post or even do a selfie or anything, especially if it's written, read it out loud to yourself. And if you think it's questionable, don't post it. I think as far as like jobs that are going, it's constantly evolving. My first job, I was writing obituaries for the Sun Herald on the Gulf Coast. And I thought, this is the most awful job ever. But it actually taught me a lot, because that was everyone's final story. That was the last day for most of those people. And what I learned over the years is that from that, and then going through Katrina, and just learning to talk to people. People are curious. They want to know what's going on, and that is what will always keep news relevant, is that curiosity from individuals wanting to know what's going on in their communities and outside world. But always adapt yourself. You have print now, but that print is going more online. And you'll always have broadcasts, because people are very visual individuals.
And also, know how to use every aspect of social media, because with my job, we have different clients. We only do social media for those clients because they're not hip to what's going on social media, how to use our social media stuff. If you're going to do social media for a client, make sure you know the content to put on here. They know how to say what audience they're targeting. So, yes, social media jobs are still out there, and it's more encompassing for people to do just social media for them.
Any more questions from audience?
Yes, my name is Joe, sorry, and I want to know that when the panel was talking about that, like, support system in school, what was the hardest thing about when you got out of school, and like adjusting to not having that support system?
Well, I would say I had a support system here in undergrad, but once I went to grad school, that support system wasn't there anymore. Like, I had faculty members that put me down because I came from an HBCU, but you have to understand that even though they say that you can't make it, you can't do this because you come from an HBCU, that you still can make it. I finished grad school in a year and a half, and I graduated with my master's in May. So therefore, don't allow anyone to say what you can't do, because I still had that support system back here at Alcorn and said, "Shy, you can do it, keep pushing on, your time is coming." So just remember, this support system that you have here is a great, and we're all family here, but just know it won't be like that everywhere you go.
I've been fortunate to have a great family and great friends and great colleagues and just many people in my lives outside of what I do on a day-to-day basis. So I talk to my family, my friends, and just people that I know all the time about the things I'm going through, but if it wasn't for them, I'd be a basket case sitting on the side of the road somewhere, because the job world is very cutthroat and it's very political, very red tape, so you have to be careful. You almost have to be careful what you say, what you do, because anything that you say or do will come back to bite you or try to use it against you. So just be mindful, but the people that love you truly, who know who you are, keep them close. I don't care if it's a professor, I don't care if it's a church member, whomever truly cares for you and you care for them, go to those people, because that's what's going to give you the strength. You need the strength of the Spirit. Like they just said with the sermon in the beginning, the wisdom, that's where the wisdom comes from. So utilize the wisdom of those around you who have been through things and that love you and take that and hold on to it every single day.
Panel, how you doing today? Students, how y'all doing? My name is Darian Bradley. I'm a junior broadcast and mass communications major from Atlanta, Georgia. And with me coming from Atlanta, I know how the life is being in the broadcast field. I've seen it. I know people in my family that have been reporters and stuff like that. And what advice would you give us as students of what to do when jobs are not hiring? Because they're not hiring that much. Like you said, it's very competitive. And if you're not, the cream of the crop, you're not gonna get a job. So, like, with me personally, after I graduate and get my bachelor's in a year, I'm going to go to ultrasound technician school and get a trade. And also, since I have a strong English background, I can also teach as well. But I'm not every student in here, so everybody might not have that backup plan. So what advice would you give a student?
Well, for me, when I graduated, the economy completely fell out. So there was a lot of people that were making cuts, and there was not many entry level positions. So there was a lag time for me for about 6 months. And what I did, and I just personally think it's good to be able to not have a gap in your resume. It's better to be doing something than nothing. And even if it's not in your field, there's nothing that's beneath you and that you can't learn skills from. I did substitute teaching. I learned a lot from that. I had a lot of contacts. I did office jobs. There's so many things you can do. There's also organizations that you can join. In Vicksburg, we have a marketing group. We have a PR group. There's all kinds of things out there that you can join to just go and network. And it's usually like a $10 lunch, something that's not too expensive, but you can find other ways to network. I dropped my resume off everywhere that might have a sales, marketing, PR, any kind of job in that field. I went everywhere. And then you just check the online listings, check the paper listings, be willing to, if you have to live with your parents for a little while, whatever it is, just don't have a lag in your resume. Find something to do that you can learn from there, because when it comes to employers, they would rather see that you were doing something with your time than just sitting at home and not doing anything. They see that you're at least trying.
Because I work for the United Way, I'm going to say community service is something that if you have a lag in your resume, if you're not able to find a job, community service can bring you a wealth of contacts and also teach you different skills and things that you may not have known that you needed.